What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So right now we are 4 days away from Congress coming back to Washington to start working once again. Now, I'm not saying they aren't working right now. They're still trying to put some stuff together. They're trying to mix different pieces, trying to, kind of fight for their position. What we're seeing right now is Democrats are having a tough time getting this entire infrastructure bill passed and trying to get this really even negotiated. We haven't even started the negotiation process yet. It's still being worked on, but here's what we know. This infrastructure bill, chances are it will include an additional stimulus check. It will include a fourth stimulus check. It will most likely include other provisions as well that progressives are pushing. We are going to see progressives push for multiple things in this next bill. Just today, just a few hours ago, the chairwoman of the chair of the U.S. Progressive Caucus, this is Pramila Jayapal, she had this to say on Twitter. She says, "Care infrastructure is infrastructure. Our economy doesn't function without child care, senior care, and paid leave. And 71% of Americans agree. We need to go big in the upcoming infrastructure bill and guarantee these vital sectors of our economy get the investment they need." Now, I wanted to read that to you because this is big. She says that we need to go big in the upcoming infrastructure bill. It's not just about infrastructure. According to the GOP, they say between 5 to 7% of this infrastructure bill is real infrastructure. But Pramila Jayapal is saying that care infrastructure is infrastructure. What I can tell you is right now, there's so many different provisions. There's so many different pieces of legislation that will be included into this infrastructure bill simply because Democrats have so much power at this point. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think every single Democratic priority is going to pass? No, it's not. But they have to compromise and not compromise with Republicans. Honestly, Democrats don't care, and they probably shouldn't even care what Republicans think. President Biden says yes, he wants to work with his friends across the aisle. However, it's highly unlikely that that's even going to happen. What I can tell you right now is progressives are pushing for more. They want to see paid leave, they want to see senior care, they want to see child care, all in this infrastructure bill. They want to see $2,000 per month as a stimulus check. That is for the entirety of this pandemic. And then for 1 full year after the pandemic is over, they want to see $1,000 per month to every single eligible American. They also want to see a minimum wage increase. Chances are that won't be included. They want to see student loan forgiveness. Chances are that will be included, or, this is a big one, or President Biden will actually sign an executive order to forgive up to $50,000 in student loans. And that would happen before this bill is ever even passed. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now. But what I can tell you is what we see happen with progressives over the next few weeks. Okay, April is going to be a big month. And I say this because once we get into May, once we get into May and June, chances are they're not really going to slow down, but we're going to have a better idea of how close we are to getting this infrastructure bill done. Again, this is $2.25 trillion. We still have to figure out a way to pay for this. Right now, there's a group of about 7 to 9 Democrats, both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, that do not support the $2.25 trillion infrastructure bill that President Biden has put in front of them. They don't support it. And if there's 7 people that currently don't support this, what you need to understand is that in the House, Democrats can only lose 3 votes. If they lose 4, the bill will not pass. In the Senate, if they lose 1 single vote, it will not pass. And currently, Mark Warner and Joe Manchin in the Senate do not support this $2.25 trillion infrastructure bill. Again, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on over the next few weeks. I just want to reiterate what we are going to see. We're going to see a lot of different proposals. We're going to see a lot of different ideas. We're going to see a lot of people talk about what should be in this bill. That is not infrastructure. We don't need that. Because remember what happened with the stimulus package. Remember when they were calling it a relief bill? What they were saying is, we can't call this a stimulus package because it doesn't actually include much stimulus. Remember that? Well, what they're saying right now is they're calling this the American Jobs Plan because, right, it's the goal of this bill, this plan, this proposal, this idea, whatever you want to call it, is to get the American people back to work, give them their jobs. Well, what we hear is that the entire bill doesn't actually do that. And this is coming from some Democrats, mostly moderates, like Joe Manchin, but this is also coming from the GOP as well. And they're trying to get the American people behind them. They're having a little bit of a tough time with that, but they're trying. They're trying to get the American people behind them to show them, hey, the Democrats are spending your hard-earned money, and they're spending it for decades into the future. Your kids are going to be paying off this bill. Your kids are going to be building that bridge for whatever representative, whatever governor is really supportive of President Biden. That's what we're hearing. It's a big issue. What I can tell you right now, okay, again, it comes down to what progressives are going to push for. And I say this because there's only so many moderates in Congress. There's a large group of progressives. Okay, there's a large group. 53 progressives in the House want to see a $2,000 per month stimulus check. I've said this for weeks. I don't see a $2,000 per month stimulus check happening. But could we see a $2,000 stimulus check as a one-time payment? Yes, we could. Honestly, that is what is actually being discussed on social media at this time is, what are we going to see? What's the amount? The American people need to have an amount that they can almost count on. Well, I'm telling you right now, do not count on this money. I'm not telling you this is guaranteed, it's a slam dunk, it's going to happen. I'm just telling you that there's talks. Okay, it's just talks. And until we see what happens over the next few weeks, okay, because that's where the guarantee comes in. Over the next few weeks, we're going to have more answers. We're going to have a lot of answers as to what do progressives want? What are the centrist Democrats? What are their demands? We know Joe Manchin does not want to see an additional budget reconciliation. But what does this mean? This simply means I'm trying to wrap all this stuff up to try to make it a little bit easier to understand. But what this means is President Biden either needs to get on Joe Manchin and say, hey, you need to get in line, because if you're not and you do not support this bill is never going to pass. We're never going to see any of this stuff. Joe Manchin doesn't want to see a budget reconciliation. Well, the problem is President Biden is not going to be able to go and discuss and try to get a bipartisan deal with the GOP because they already said $2.25 trillion is too much. We can possibly do $615 billion, but that's about it. So what I can tell you at this time is there's a lot of questions. Lawmakers have a lot of questions. Lawmakers are back in their home districts. They're going to come back to Capitol Hill on Monday. They're going to come back on Monday, and hopefully they have listened to their constituents. Hopefully they've listened to you and I. I've sent emails, done a few phone calls. Again, nobody answers, but I still do them just because who knows, maybe they read the emails. But what I can tell you is hopefully they've listened to us, the voters, the American people, and they will actually provide for everything that we need. Right now, a lot of people need relief. The issue with infrastructure, and this is what experts are saying right now, is that the issue is infrastructure. Yes, it will create jobs. It will bring back a better America. But the big problem is, how do we actually change the unemployment rate? How do we actually get people back to work? How do we provide an income and a roof over their head? How do we do that if we do not provide something for them now? Infrastructure is great and it will do a lot in the future, but what will it do for the immediate future, for the immediate needs of the American people? This is why an additional stimulus check is seen as a highly likely option. This is why the child tax credits is being pushed by many, saying the IRS needs to get this done. And this is also why an extension of unemployment benefits is something that many say will have to be done, because we cannot just cut everybody off. 19 million Americans, cut them off cold turkey. It just won't work. We will see so many people fall into poverty, and it just will not help. And it will actually hurt and hinder the economic recovery. So, right now, that is what we know. But what I can tell you is what progressives do over the next few weeks and what the centrist Democrats do over the next few weeks are going to play a major role as to what we see in this next infrastructure bill and how much stimulus we could potentially see. So, as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back. I'll update you. I'll fill you in on all the new information. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.